Hey everyone, it's Josh Bickle here with the Millennial Wealth Network, and I am here to talk to you today about changing your minds around investments. It's an interesting topic to start talking about, and it's one that I've been really diving into because as we make more money, we're trying to think about lots of different things. How do we pay for our kids' post-secondary education? How do we think about retirement? How do we think about a lot of things that we want to do in our lives? Heck, I want to take a lot of trips as I get older. I'm not a very well-traveled person and I'm hoping to change that, but a lot of that comes to how do we save that additional money and start making our money work for us. And I know this is going to be shocking to a lot of you, but I found that actually one of the best places to do it is in real estate. And this is actually an aha moment that has come to me in probably the last couple of months, even though I've been a real estate agent for a while, in how exactly this is going to work. And today I want to take just a brief second to go through exactly how it's going to work and exactly how you can use real estate to make more money and pay for the things that you want to pay for in your life. So a couple of weeks ago, I was actually at an investment seminar, and it was with this wonderful mortgage agent. His name is Dion Begg. And he started to say something to me that actually got me really thinking. If I had $100,000 that I could invest, let's say it was taking equity out of my house or I had saved it from other investments, and I went to the bank and asked for a small business loan, the odds are the bank's not going to give me a lot of money. Maybe they're generous and match my small business loan $100,000 because most small businesses fail within 5 years. If I had $100,000 and went to the bank and asked for a loan to purchase some stocks, odds are they're not going to give me that loan. But let's say we're being generous and they would give me that loan. They're probably going to give me maybe $100,000 or, match my investment. But when I go to the bank with $100,000 to purchase an investment property, what are you going to get? The answer is $400,000 to purchase a $500,000 investment property. You generally, on average, need 20% down to buy an investment property. That's not always true, but in this case, for easy math, that's what we're going to look at. So what that starts to indicate to me is the banks who control most of our money are most willing to invest in real estate. They find that is the lowest risk alternative to anything else that they could do out there. And it makes a lot of sense. If you look at most of the wealthiest people in the world, when you're talking about monetary, most of them tend to have sizable real estate portfolios. It's because it is an asset that is tangible, it's easy to market, and it's easy to also divest from and get your cash and equity back out of it. And when we look at it, it's also really amazing how much money real estate actually makes over a period of time. Seriously, we're going to talk about those numbers. All right, so let's say that I did own a home. And I've owned that home for about 5 years, and I actually want to pay it off in the next 5 years instead of 25 years or 20 years, depending on how long your mortgage is. So I decide to take $100,000 in equity out of my home and use that as a down payment on an investment property. As we talked about, I go to the bank, I put my $100,000 down, they give me $400,000, and as long as all the other variables work out, we go out and we buy a $500,000 purchase. Now, our idea is we're going to hold on to that $500,000 home and that new investment property that we just purchased for the next 5 years. On average, especially in Oshawa and the Durham region, if I go back and look at the 15-year average of home increase, we're at about 5%. It's a little above that, but we're going to round down. I like to talk about all of my numbers conservatively. So about every single year, that home is going to increase in value by about $25,000. As a matter of fact, every single year, that home is going to increase a little bit above $25,000 until about the 5th year, it's increasing around $31,000. But if we go through that over 5 years on holding on that home should increase in value on average by about $138,000. That's $138,000. So your $100,000 investment has already returned $138,000 on the value of your home. But we're not also just going to be talking about that initial investment on what we're talking about there. You also have to remember that during that time, you're going to be paying down your mortgage. And on average, we pay about $11,000 off the principal of our mortgage per year, which means we're going to pay $55,000 off that home as well, which means we're coming close to $200,000 that you have paid. That is $200,000 in 5 years that initial $100,000 investment has already made you on the purchase of that home. So now you know that you've gained almost $200,000 in equity in that home over 5 years. Now let's just say you didn't want an investment property and you've decided that you're now going to just sell that home. You're probably going to have somewhere in the vicinity of $350,000 that you're going to take out of that home. Is that probably going to be enough to pay off the remaining mortgage that you have on your current home? There's a really good chance that it's going to be. So you could be debt-free, or you could be mortgage-free inside of 10 years. But what if that wasn't your plan? What if you wanted to hold on for retirement? What if you wanted to hold on for one of your children's educations, or maybe just so you can go on some vacations or pull some extra equity out and buy some more investment properties? Well, as you hold on to that property longer, the more you're going to pay down your mortgage and the more that property is going to raise in price. Believe it or not, the average is, and statistically every 15 years, home prices double. So this is an opportunity to continue to get there. If you were to hold on to that property for another 5 years, it's probably going to be sitting around about $470,000 in equity that you're going to have in that home, all still off that initial $100,000 investment. And this doesn't have to be done in avenues of $100,000. This will work if you have $30,000 and just purchase a lesser investment property. This can work if you're talking from a first-time buyer standpoint. You know, you buy that property for yourself. Maybe you're purchasing a duplex that you have someone pay the rent in on the bottom part and reduce your mortgage payments. Maybe you go into a co-sharing agreement with someone else in order to help. Over that 5 years, because I'm just doing everything in 5 years, that initial investment is going to be working harder for you than almost any investment that you can think of that comes out on the market and with much less risk. Because here's the one thing that I always hear when we talk about real estate investment. What happens if the market crashes? Don't sell. If the market is down and it's not a good time for you to sell, then you simply don't need to sell. The only time that can become a big issue for you is if the market happens to crash during the same period of time where your mortgage renewal is up and you just don't appraise to where you need to be. Is that a risk? Yes. Does every investment hold a risk? Yes. Your risk is just much more solid. You know, if a stock market crashes, you sell off. You don't have a solid thing. If your house prices crash, you still have a roof over your head. You still have something to get. And we're not even talking about potential rental prices or anything like that is involved in also holding an investment property. So there's a whole bunch of numbers that are really fluid in it. But what we've found is that we can start building a plan through real estate that will actually help create your future, your retirement, kids' education, vacations, plans, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever goals that you want to accomplish. There's a plan that can be accomplished through that in real estate. So we really want to help you. We want to have those conversations about it. It's good. These are good things to think about. And it has been a really eye-opener for me, and I hope it's been an eye-opener for you. We do teach a lot of seminars surrounding this. We do have a lot of events surrounding this, so do feel free to reach out. Leave a comment below if you are interested in finding out dates or times in one of our seminars. And we're hopefully going to be moving to webinars as well, so do leave a comment below if you're interested in webinars, so then that we can reach people who might not be in our local Oshawa or Durham location. Thank you so much. I would love to hear what you said. I'd love if you hit our subscribe button and like this video, and let us know if you have any comments or questions.